am not Dr. Disrespect, but I am here to make sure that you watch the entire documentary about the Call of Duty YouTube community that you're about to witness. It seems that some people are confused about the way that YouTube works. The online gaming community needs an education. So watch the entire video. And if you don't,
the following special report is intended for the purposes of education, preparation, and most of all, entertainment. Enjoy. The Call of Duty YouTube community. A place where gamers come to view their favorite game and interact with the content creators and fellow viewers. Beginning with the breakout title, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, this melting pot of fans and content creators from around the world grew from a niche market of only a handful of channels and small group of viewers, into a multi-million-dollar advertising industry in its own right. As a new crop of tweens and teens discover this community every year, the audience for this market grows, and those with the necessary drive and determination seek to carve out their own piece of success. As we approach the launch of Call of Duty Ghosts, there are thousands of YouTube channels centered around Call of Duty, and branching off into another widely popular game, Minecraft. As channels became monetized, the inevitable transformation from a creative outlet into a revenue generator spawned an explosion of new channels, all vying for the loyalty and attention of the viewers, and with that a sea change in the behavior and motivations of the content creators. As the YouTube gaming market becomes ever more saturated with each passing year, the chances of success shrink, and those looking to profit from this medium find themselves faced with the need to employ any means necessary to achieve their goals: money, fame, and popularity. At first, the path to success was quite simple. Just showing up was almost enough. With such a limited number of channels offering this content, simply posting videos was enough to attract a subscriber base. Skill at the game was a bonus, but not a requirement, as some channels thrived even with mediocre gameplay. These early content creators had the foresight to realize that establishing a cult of personality was just as important, if not more so, than skill at the game, to build a loyal following. Soon, these channels began networking with each other, promising to share their subscriber base in exchange for promotion on each other's channel. Thus was born the dual commentary. In this context, a content creator could push another channel onto their subscribers, generating interest and driving traffic towards them. A promotional method known as box for box allowed a content creator to advertise other channels on their YouTube page, a constant and passive way of directing subscribers to allied channels. With the release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the YouTube FPS community realized its potential as a living, breathing, global community. With the rise of the company MrChaosMath, advertising was introduced into the equation, and some of the early channels found themselves showcased on Respawn, a channel watched by virtually all viewers in the community. These channels exploded in popularity and thus began the first influx of new channels seeking the prestige and popularity of their favorite channels, and to join the ranks of successful YouTubers. The first signs of consolidation and separation of channels into cliques began in this era, though it was still fairly easy for a new channel to assert themselves, given they had enough skill, creativity, or personality to be deemed worthy of attention. A critical part of success was to form a partnership with a larger channel to provide a shout-out, or even feature their content. In those days, a successful channel had 20,000 subscribers. As the popularity of Call of Duty increased on YouTube, the competition amongst existing channels increased, compounded by the pressure of standing up to the endless birth of new channels. Some of these new channels featured gameplay and production value of the highest quality, and it soon became clear that being good at the game was not enough to succeed. It was in this period, and throughout the next iteration of the Call of Duty series, that the value of creativity held its highest value in the YouTube FPS community. With the release of Call of Duty Black Ops, the YouTube gaming community exploded yet again, with thousands of new channels born and the ever-increasing popularity of machinima respawn exposing viewers to more channels outside of their own preferred clique. It was at this time that machinima began to offer revenue-sharing partnerships with channels, and so it became possible for a content creator to turn their channel into a viable source of revenue. This was the golden era of Call of Duty on YouTube. The party did not last long, and here is where shit starts to get real. With the release of Modern Warfare 3, YouTube began to make changes to the site that changed the way content was promoted and found on the site, as well as how channels interacted. By this point, the Call of Duty market was becoming super saturated, with tens of thousands of channels all churning out daily content en masse, in hopes to become the next big thing. The first signs of fatigue began to show in content views, with many viewers now subscribed to 50 or more channels all producing nearly identical content. Additional changes by YouTube made it harder for a new channel to gain attention, and by this point, the help of a larger channel to compete in this space was almost without exception a necessity. Further consolidation of power began, with allied channels circling their wagons in an attempt to retain loyal subscribers and avoid the negative effects of an audience losing its attention span and need for their content. It was during this time that some of the most popular channels from the early days began to abandon Call of Duty and transition their channels to other games such as Minecraft. Some of these early adopters would go on to be hugely successful, and thus spawn another explosion of imitators. Content in the community began to take on a reactive nature, moving like a school of fish to emulate whatever might be working for a particular large channel. An example of this behavior was the PC title, Slenderman. As the constant addition of yet even more new channels continued, the tactics of YouTube commentators began to polarize. Many content creators began to see the writing on the wall. Blowing up into the next big thing was within almost anyone's grasp only a couple short years earlier, but now the path was being laden with obstacles of all sorts. The prosperity gap was becoming ever more apparent, with the large majority of channels' growth slowing severely or stopping altogether. At the same time, the largest channels enjoyed even more promotion by the YouTube search algorithms and related video results, a deliberate move on the part of Google to drive traffic where it would generate the best chance of revenue. Those in power and favor further consolidated their influence and began to discourage cooperation with newcomers, and it became very rare to see a larger channel help out anyone below them. Successful YouTubers sought each other out, sharing their already large subscriber bases to cement their continued growth. The rise of partnerships between the largest channels set a precedent for the future. As the release of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 approached, viewer fatigue was reaching an all-time high. In past years, content creators enjoyed an average subscriber-to-view ratio of 25 to 40%. Now, videos were lucky to pull in a 20% ratio at best, with some channels dipping below 10%. At the same time, many companies began to realize that the return on investment of the advertising dollars spent on YouTube was falling far short of expectations. Google changed the way it paid content creators for ads placed on their content, with viewer retention becoming more important than just the total views, and also with reductions to the payments for ads viewed, or CPM. Partnered networks were losing huge amounts of cash from paying out to the handful of bloated channels that had grown dangerously large over the years, with some pushing to 1 million or more subscribers. These mega channels were now becoming a liability to them, as their original contracts had not predicted the level of growth these channels would achieve. This was the great revenue crash of the YouTube gaming market, and it heralded the coming of a darker new reality for many small and medium-sized partnered channels. The mega channels, however, had grown large enough to remain extremely profitable even at renegotiated rates, and all still continue to thrive today. The pressure of reduced revenue and visibility caused an even further consolidation of power amongst the larger channels, and many began to transition towards creating content on Twitch.tv, a website offering real-time and on-demand streaming of multimedia entertainment. Black Ops 2 featured unprecedented support of the Call of Duty competitive esports market, and this opened the door for professional Call of Duty players to explode onto YouTube and Twitch.tv. By this point, most of the channels from the old guard were becoming irrelevant and out of touch, and views continued to plummet for many. For those using their content as a source of income, it became clear that the rules had changed and extinction was near if innovation and adaptation were not embraced. For many, this meant changing their content to fit the latest fad or trend, and for the majority of channels, it meant the chances of becoming a big YouTuber were similar to winning the lottery, or fucking a top model or movie star. Today, as we approach the release of Call of Duty: Ghosts, this community is a mere shadow of its former self. The very idea of gameplay and commentary seems outdated and obsolete, and for the majority of channels, the general sense of genuine and creative content is gone. Content creators have learned that in order to attain breakout success, they need to make a decision, create content to make money, or to express themselves. These two paths very rarely intersect. Successful content is a commodity. For many of the most popular channels, the content is driven around the idea of a reality TV show, with the creator the focus of the video, and the actual video game footage taking a secondary and supportive role. There are still some, though very few, surviving large channels from the early days who managed to remain intact to their original state and basic identity, and still produce their own unique brand of content, consistent with their past, though evolved and unchanged by the latest trick to get views, after achieving moderate or even fantastic financial success. Pretty fucking cool, huh? So, now we get to you. Maybe you're just a viewer, enjoying the ridiculous soap opera that is this community. A cast of personalities so ridiculous it baffles the fucking mind. Quite the circus, isn't it? Or maybe, just maybe, you're thinking of starting your own YouTube channel, or you already have a smaller one and are trying to find a path to succeed. If you're looking to enter the game at this point, just be aware of some facts. Success is unlikely. The door has all but closed for new players, as the space is dominated by the large channels, desperately protecting their viewing base and using all their power, whether it be YouTube's search algorithm tactics, metadata manipulation, blacklisting, or otherwise, to stop anyone from unseating or challenging them. Almost everyone has an ulterior motive, and your usefulness determines your standing and friendships with YouTubers of any measured success. This is not to say that there are not friendly, helpful and honest YouTubers. They are out there, but they are usually quiet and keep a low profile, simply because the majority are so fucking phony. Keeping a good reputation is important, as there are always other channels looking to pounce on another YouTuber when they stumble, and the loyal followers of YouTubers can, and have been, weaponized to damage or even destroy other channels. Everyone claims to be the real thing, but here's a tip: those who remind you of how truthful and right they are usually those who are most full of shit. But there is a bright spot of hope. Being a yes man or sycophant to a larger channel has proven to be a springboard to success for many channels in these challenging times. Kiss the right ass, long and hard enough, and you could end up gaining the favor of a larger channel owner's graces. Keep at it, work for free for them. Maybe they want a thumbnail, or a custom music track, manage their Facebook or server, or put in 30 hours of free editing in Sony Vegas, adding lens flares and shitty dubstep to some ridiculously stupid and senseless fucking sniper montage. Lavish them with praise, and they just might take you under their wing or even put you on a podcast. Now we're fucking talking, right? Bend over, hold your ankles, and take it like a champ, if you want it bad enough, and it could result in some form of success. But, unfortunately for most, you'll be riding that dick for naught, just stroking the ego of a big-time YouTuber, while he tells another big YouTuber on Skype that he loves his stupid minions, who think he's going to help them pick up 10,000 subs. Yeah, right. Just like in the real world, sometimes you have to take a hot load in the face if you want to move up, so if you have the stomach for it, don't let pride stand in your way. The opinions of the jealous and pious won't mean shit when you're getting your videos liked and retweeted by a narcissistic YouTuber with fucking 2 million subscribers. Alternatively, you can just post your content and not give a flying fuck. Have fun, be thankful of the subscribers who watch your content, be it 5 or 5,000. It is possible to rise to the top solely on the strength of your ideas and personality. It has happened and could happen again, but the odds are very strongly against you. You see, success on YouTube is very much like success in any business. It might seem like many of the biggest YouTubers have acted unethically, maliciously, or represented themselves falsely for profit. It might seem that way because it is true. But it is also true that they did what they had to do to survive. When the world gives you lemons, make some fucking lemonade. Many of the most successful businesses were built on the backs of those without the balls to fuck over their competition, or even friend. This, unfortunately, is reality. Have you ever noticed how fucked up the world is? That is because the assholes of the world aren't afraid to seize power or bend the rules to get ahead, and so they tend to dominate positions of power. This is why almost all politicians are corrupt and there are no good choices. The world, and by extension YouTube, is a fucked up and dangerous place if you're naive. So pick your path and stick with it. Either choice is okay, for at the end of the day, only you need judge yourself and your actions. Thanks for watching. And we do hope you learned a little bit about this fucked up little shit shack that we call the YouTube Call of Duty community. Thanks. And oh, please, don't get all fucking butthurt by this video, okay? If you're offended, maybe it's because you're a lying scheming douchebag. Haha, just kidding. Or not. Cheers, little bitch.